Hi, Virgo and Virgo Rising. Here is your horoscope for May 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we've got some really interesting energy coming in for May, June, and July, but we're going to focus on May right now. I did say at the beginning of the year that the first 4 months of 2025 were going to be trickier, and then we have some sort of energy that comes in that seems to be more positive. And so that's what we have this month. But there's a but here, unfortunately, because the energy that's coming in is activating your 8th house of transformation, especially with Venus there and now Neptune there, and then later on in the month, Saturn will be there. This is causing you to look at the world in a completely different way. The 8th house has to do with transformation, deep psychological transformation, physical transformation. This is the house that has to do with financial matters as well. So this is the underlying energy that's still sort of lingering in the background, especially with Neptune there and then Saturn being there. Venus is going to move out of this 8th house, but these two will be staying here for quite a while. But this is a month where you really have to look at things at the deepest levels, and decide what it is that you want to change. So this is for this reading is for anyone who has a rising sign in Virgo or has a sun sign in Virgo. It's a general overview using tropical whole house Western astrology. And so, again, everyone's birth chart's going to be different. Everyone's birthday is going to be different. So, again, this is just a very basic general overview. So we see your ruler Mercury is also going through the 8th house. Fortunately, it's going direct. So unfortunately, your mind is on overload this month because Mercury in Aries is all about thinking, and Aries represents the self. So there's a lot of concern about either mental health or physical health that I'm seeing here that you're very much aware of. Now, the good news, let's switch to the good news. The sun is going through Taurus, another earth sign like yours. It's in the 9th house of having more fun, being more playful. So I would say focus on that energy because this is also about the future. And the 9th house has to do with the future. So this is going to be very important that you make the small steps this month into having a better future. This could involve traveling, taking a vacation, enjoying yourself somehow, some way. This is a great house for laughter and playfulness. Okay, so take advantage of that. Mars is in Leo, which tends to be more playful. It's in your 12th house, so yes, you're concerned about things below the radar. The 12th house, the 8th house, these are houses that are about the subconscious, the past. They're more about going within and figuring things out. All right, so but there's absolutely a lot of possibilities here. Okay, but it really starts with you. You have to start realizing who you really are. As I've pointed out in so many videos, we are not our minds. We are not even our bodies. We are the energy in the suit, powering the suit. And that the mind is not in control. It is an amazing processor, but it is not in control. You have to realize that, Virgo and Virgo rising, and do the best you can. Now, with Venus going through the 8th house, which really starts off the month on the very first day, this is about partnerships and relationships. This is also about financial matters because Venus represents financial endeavors. This could be anything from inheritance to taxes to, setting up wills and all that other stuff. And so Venus is now back in Aries because it was retrograde for a while. And now it is joined by Neptune right there. So these two in this 8th house really have you thinking about your mortality, your financial picture, sort of investments, stocks, bonds, taxes, everything that pertains to this 8th house, relationships from the past. Now, this alignment here could be a very psychic alignment. One of the strongest psychic alignments is when you have Neptune in the 8th house. So I want you guys to really pay attention to your visions and your dreams. And, maybe you're advising other people. Maybe you're counseling them. This is a great time to seek counseling on matters of either health or mental well-being, whatever it is. And so this is a chance to reinvent yourself, to reach out to people that are healers and teachers. Maybe you go to a conference or an event that has a lot of mystics and psychics, or, people that are in the healing profession. This is all part of this energy. Okay, so I want you guys to realize that you're going through a massive transformation, but it all begins upstairs in the mind. And that's where I see this energy taking hold. Now, as far as current relationships, because Venus is conjunct Neptune, this could be, coming to a realization about a current relationship with someone. And so you're coming to terms with it. Or maybe you're deepening the relationship on some level. You're telling someone you love them very, very much. And I'm so fortunate to have you in my life. That kind of stuff. Because Venus is romance and Neptune is romance as well. But in the 8th house, it's more of a deeper psychological, and it could be sexual too. Maybe there's a sexual memory or a connection that you have with someone else. It really depends on your own actual birth chart. Again, I'm just giving you some general overviews. Now, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius right here in the 6th house of health and service. Now, Pluto going retrograde is really not a big deal because it happens to be over 5.5 months or so that it's retrograde out of the year. So it's a subtle subconscious energy that's working its magic in the 6th house. So this has a lot to do with your daily routine. It has a lot to do with health, nutrition, well-being, caring for pets, caring for others. And so slowly this energy is just taking you deeper down an awareness. Okay, let's put it that way. And since we're talking about Aquarius energy, maybe you're looking at different modalities of health and healing, or maybe you're looking into ways of helping others heal. It's not just your own healing. It could be others that you're helping heal. Virgos can be really good healers, and especially with all this energy going into the 8th house, helping people by counseling them. This could be very profound. So Pluto going through this house is really asking you to focus your energy on your community, focus your energy on your own well-being. And so this is what it's going to do over the next 5.5 months or so. But it's not really a big deal. You just have to realize the subtle energy that's taking place with this Pluto in retrograde. Now, Mercury, your ruler, goes into Taurus on the 10th. It switches signs, finally leaves the 8th house, goes into easygoing, simple, back to the basics, Taurus. And so this is absolutely suggesting to have a little bit more fun. Maybe take a little mini vacation. Go out for a nice meal or make a nice meal for yourself. Do something that is more friendly and family, or, just having more excitement in some way, in a simple way. Okay, but it is getting back to the basics. So for many of you, I would suggest that as Mercury makes its way through the 9th house. Don't focus too much on the future. Focus on the now is what my suggestion would be, with Mercury making its way through the 9th house. Now, the full moon on the 12th is going to continue to highlight the mind, continue to highlight your thoughts, self-expression, and so on. It's going to be at 22 degrees of Scorpio, so wherever that is in your birth chart, that's the area that gets lit up. But it'll be opposing the sun and unpredictable Uranus. So we're looking at a bit of psychic ability, visionary ability, overthinking something, the transformation that we are all going through right now. So please don't take it personally like you're only going through this. Everyone's going through a transformation right now. But this, again, represents the deepest psychological side of life. And again, maybe you're having a very important conversation with another, such as a family member, a friend, a neighbor, and they could surprise you with some of the information that comes out. Or maybe you surprise them with information. Maybe you start writing something or publishing. This is going to be a very profound month for all that. But whatever it is, full moon in Scorpio is a realization. So maybe you're realizing something about yourself or another person that you have to pay attention to. So this seems to be the general theme here with this full moon in Scorpio this month in that 3rd house. The sun conjuncts Uranus exactly on the 17th and 18th. This is I need to break old patterns. I need to think outside the box kind of energy. And I highly suggest it. So pay attention to what you're doing or the information that's coming in. I mean, this entire month is all about information for you guys. And with this conjunction, this is very profound about the future. Both Uranus and the ninth house represent the future. So you may have some really good visionary ability that comes in around this time that you really need to pay attention to. So I highly suggest it. Now, the sun enters Gemini on the 20th and 21st. Now it's up at the top part of your chart. So this focuses your energy on your career and your status and what you want, getting more attention. This is absolutely going to help you in your career status. Okay, so over the course of the next 30 days, this is absolutely going to enhance that area of your chart, especially when on the 26th and 27th, we have Mercury entering the 10th house, and the new moon activates the 10th house as well. So many of you may be finding new positions or jobs. Maybe you're writing, maybe you're expressing yourself, maybe you're getting more recognition for your work, maybe you're dealing with officials, maybe you're dealing with the medical community. This is all highlighting this, but it really looks like, positive energy. But again, anytime we have this much Gemini energy for a Virgo, your mind will be on overload. So I want you guys to realize that, especially with Jupiter still being in Gemini. So I want you to pay attention to that. But let me go back to one other thing here that's going to be very profound, and that's Saturn entering Aries on the 24th and 25th. Now, the last time this did this was in 1996. So think back in 1996 and what was going on back then. Saturn in Aries represents the self, discipline, focusing on well-being. It's in the 8th house. And so this has a lot to do with the deep psychological part of life. It has a lot to do with finances and endeavors with other people, like shared resources. Okay? Now, Saturn is going to be here, like with Neptune, just for a short period of time until about October, November, and then they'll both retrograde back into the 7th house. But Saturn in Aries in the 8th is, again, some sort of karmic energy. Whatever you're putting out there, the universe seems to, match that frequency or give you an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And so Saturn is, even though it's restrictive, it has a karmic feel to it. Like, have I done enough? Have I been a good person? That kind of stuff. But in the 8th house, it could be quite heavy, like, deep psychological analysis of my life and my past and stuff like that. You see, it could also be anything to do with investments or money matters. These are all going to be on the table as well. And so, but this is just temporarily. It's joining Neptune, which is really good because it could be very creative and very profound. So this month is really about profound messages and information coming to you. So this is why I'm pointing out all of this 8th house and Gemini energy, because it could be a major turning point for many of you. All right. So this is the basic overview. If you want to know more, I do an extended version of this horoscope in my Inner Circle community, as you can see here. I do the weekly astrology as well, giving everyone an overview of what the week looks like. Many of the members love that. I also teach an astrology course in my community, so there's plenty of that. And of course, every Sunday we are on a Zoom call, and everyone gets to ask questions. And if anyone wants to know about their chart, they send it to me ahead of time, and I cover it on the Sunday Zoom call. So consider joining. There's a free 7-day trial in the community, so you've got nothing to lose. Anyway, have a great month. Do the best you can, Virgo. And always remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. The mind is not in control. All right? I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.